looks like they want to maybe force a fight at this top bounty rune spot. GPK is also hanging about. It seems like Tidebound, they are the much more confident team in this position. It will walk away, but there is a 3-for-1 bounty rune trade anyway, as Miero was able to swipe one away from Shiro. So you do come out with a better start anyway for BetBoom.
Which is what you want to see. They got themselves a really good start last time as well with all of the bounties, so could have been worse for Tidebound. At the very least, they snag one. We'll take a gander at that mid lane of Natakase up against GPK first. Beastmaster versus Tinkle. Not a mid lane matchup you see too often. Mind you, we have seen a little bit more of that Beastmaster mid, and it was ran a while ago in one of the Group A matches. I do recall seeing that, and it did do pretty damn well. You and I, well, I did see this in the Southeast Asian qualifiers for Dream League, but did not take Mikado with. Talon was also looking pretty shoddy that day, and this one should be fine. This is a fine match for Beastmaster. The Boar is maybe not as effective when you've got laser and march spam, but once you have access up to, say, level 2, it starts to feel pretty damn good for GPK. Spam those spells out, Tinker starts to comp it, and you can just kind of melt. It should be pretty straightforward. There's going to be a push threat as well from GPK if he does go like a 2-2-0 build. There is a steady siege that can come out just from the boars around that you will have to kind of camp nothing right on mid.
Miero's going to survive. Save now the one in danger, and Miero can't really stand around to help. Save going to try and trade here with Shiro, but Shiro not really taking too much damage from these images. Illusions, they're going to be just fine though to survive. BetBoom barely surviving on both heroes, but that's going to allow Shiro to free farm this creep wave at the very least quite effectively, and Miero, he has to bring out a salve on the courier. Thankfully it won't be too long. He does already have himself healing up. We'll be back to the laning stage, but 2 salves wasted here on the side of BetBoom at least.
Pretty big economy loss for them. It's going to feel nice for your Clinkx to kind of play poke. This is a really nice lane as well for Clinkx to play. You've got melee safe lane support to kind of help you out. You do have drinking buddies, so it's something like tag team to give you more damage, but you still get that bonus anyhow once you've got the value point up. And I will say, Shiro going for the suppressive fire is pretty interesting. I think you and I, when we cast C, you don't tend to see this faster too often. It can be really strong once that short timing is up, or just, you know, when you get the strafe up, the mischance can be quite devastating for something like the Shadow Fiend later on. That's one thing I'm keen on seeing as well. They're doing a great job of just managing the aggression down here, though, from the side of BetBoom. Like, Miero is tanky as all heck with the Rum. Having that innate just means shoving away this offlaner quite hard. But you also can't do much to stop Shiro. You walk in, you're melee, you get a tar bomb tossed in your face, you get these skeleton minions, skeletal arcs around you, and you just get slowly poked. And it takes a lot to try to commit there. A little bit of a fight over the Lotus. Save us snag it nicely enough.
I'm having a look at that top lane as well, John. It seems like Pure, he was off to a bit of a slower start. Bark's been doing a good job of just contesting the CS. Meanwhile, Planet and Kataomi obviously trading harassment with each other. A bit of a slower top lane, I want to say. Again, though, Bark has been having a pretty good time in just securing creeps and denying a bunch of his... Well, I say denying, he's got 0 denies, John, but he's ensuring Pure isn't comfortable just stepping up and clearing creep waves here.
He is. Doesn't have the value point yet in the Bristleback, so he's not the tankiest he can be, but he does have decent damage flowing out with the Pulse Sprays up. And going for the Snot Rocket does mean later on you are going to be providing utility more than anything else, getting some slows out, trying to soften targets up for Shiro to clean up. And again, you're off to a stable start at the very least. You're not too unhappy here on Pure. And he's always going to have a full wand. It's going to be hard to look for the kill onto him. It's not like the threat from Wind Ranger's massive either, until maybe you get Shackle up, although...
Mid lane, a lot of rotations, a big dive from GPK and Kataomi. Now they might get punished for it though, as Y and Planet are here ready to go, and Planet, he'll secure first blood, but GPK, he actually got nothing to say on the tail end of that. The final wild axe is thrown out, he clipped the Tinker. It's not really the worst case scenario. Kataomi will go down eventually. I think that the power shot not really being channeled on the stick charges from Kataomi, keeping him alive long enough. So ultimately Potentially a 1-for-1 trade. First Blood does go the way of Planet on Tidebound, but seeing that Tinker die right after GPK, I mean, you could make the argument it really wasn't that bad.
It's not too bad, considering everything else. You have room down bot to play. You've left your Clinkx alone for a moment here.
Torrent will land, but Shiro is still okay. X will fly out. Shiro now starting to drop quite a bit lower with these Shadow Poison stacks. He should be going down though. Save. He did pop it and he got it. I thought he almost got saved there for a second, but Save did catch him. That'll be your Clinkx going down. That's an important kill to see. The Clinkx is having maybe a bit of a good, too good of a time down that bottom lane.
He did, and that's here you kind of need to keep down. That's where your tempo will be coming from here on Tidebound, right? Like Clinkx only needs maybe one minor item to really get online, get that connection out to probably the Bristleback lane. It's the best one there. But you're just offsetting just a tad bit. You see that commitment on mid. You know how squishy the Clinkx can be. You get that punishment going for yourself. A strong start for BetBoom so far, 1-2. You are getting room out for Nutcase to start to farm up. He's got level 6. You can just start to keen conveyance his way around the map. There are some good stacks for him as well that were very well protected, not scouted out by the side of BetBoom. You do have some big farm to eat up here. The March that can line up. To the side of BetBoom though, they are getting that gate movement across the map. There is a really good early ward here planted by Wyatt to spot that rotation. Harder to catch him out of position.
No! Why? Okay. Oh, that's so unfortunate. I mean, Shiro's okay for now. Pure, has he gone too far? No, he's got healing lotuses. He's okay. Shiro and Y will be the ones to go down, but Bark with the rotation, trying to at least chase Miero. Problem is Miero's got 3 heroes right around him, ready to help whenever Planet moving in from the north. A nice shackle onto 2. Bark's dropping quite low now. Pure's still trying to man up against the Bristleback, but now nothing to say is becoming a pretty big problem with this much of the machine spam. Pure just needs to hide. Planet will find him though. A double kill for the Wind Ranger. And Tidebound, it seems like they've pulled off the fight. Chasing for Miero too. Y will eventually run into him. Mark's trying to cut him off. It seems like Miero, he has not been found though. I suppose there is still a chance Bark does find him here by the Twin Gate. It won't matter though. Miero, he'll be okay. And we are looking, of course, at the highlights. And it was a very unfortunate start, John. Y accidentally blocked Shiro in that tree line, trying to block off BetBoom. With Bark's rotation and nothing to say with the March of the Machine spam, it was a bit too much to handle.
Wasn't that? That is a Bristleback with only level 1 guru. I checked Pure and his armor after he got 6 stacks up. He was minus 17. That's the one thing with the Snot Rocket. Yeah, you're not doing damage yourself. You saw the right click from NTS. It's a Tinker right clicking with that much damage still.
Speaking of Pure, John, speaking of the devil, Pure, he's in trouble again. And he's going to try, but there's just no chance of survival here as Bark will take another kill now on the Bristle. And this is that stage. I mean, it's an NTS Tinker, John. He's pretty powerful right now. People try to convince me. Hold that thought, because we're seeing Shiro being chased down. You know I'm about to start ranting, John, about this hero, Miero. In a bit of danger, but we'll be able to walk his way out. Nothing to say. Still chasing, but ultimately ran out of mana. Shiro thinking about continuing the chase himself, but doesn't have level 6 yet. People were trying to convince me without Rocket Flare that Tinker was broken. Tinker was not a good hero anymore, John. I know there's still these players out there that can still make this hero look good in the core role. I had my doubts while the draft was going on, Jonathan, but well, here we are. So far, so good for Missing Nothing to Say.
Yeah, so far so good. Look, Mike, that was like a year ago, you know?
I'm not over it, John. People, if someone wrongs me, John, I remind them their whole lifetime. I'll do it.
You're a vindictive fellow, Mikey. That is fair enough.
I'm very.
There was nothing to say after that last game, you know? He's feeling it right now. Blink up. Going for the Atos next, which I like to see. The added durability for the Tinker is a huge plus, honestly. And the build-up into Gleipnir, not too bad. You could kind of use the AoE, although it's not as useful perhaps with March, but some utility coming out. Big rotation up top here. Pure hasn't had the best time.
And Pure is not finding the opportunity to free farm at this top lane. Save. He TP'd in to help out, but it's really not going to mean much. They do at least kill off Y. Or Kadaomi. Another one. Boom. Maybe just getting a little bit too excited here, John, but not really respecting the amount of tempo that Tidebound can apply right now. And you've seen the last couple of fights, like there's no contesting these guys. Even if you've got the numbers advantage to start, nothing to say comes in and just starts cleaning up. Here comes Miero. I'm not sure what the idea is. He'll give the foe to crack with the torrent, but Bach is a pretty tanky boy right now. And again, with the Tinker coming in, you're going to be perfectly fine. At Defense Matrix, man, you really can't underestimate it. And of course, Save, he doesn't have Demonic Purge yet. No way to purge it off as of yet. Save is actually just farming neutrals, trying to ensure he gets his level 6 up.
Try to get that level 6, try to get this build up into the Aether Lens for that reach, and get those disruptions off. To save one of these cores. Inside of BetBoom do need time to build up now. This is the one thing with this draft. You've got Clinkx, you've got Beastmaster. Theoretically, it's not the slowest draft in the world, but you did lose that early tempo. It's Tidebound kind of playing off that advantage. And again, they've got Bristleback, they've got Tinker, they've got a Clinkx that kind of connects especially nicely with Bristle. All of these things are starting to line up. You're getting a very fast Mjolnir lining up for Shiro. And he is set to dance around. There is a sentry at least preventing too deep of a dive from Shiro and hunting. But I like these forward wards now from the side of Tidebound. Like, look up top. They've got a good river ward watching by that top jungle. If they want to use the gate again. They've got some, again, this ward down bot to watch that gate take dividends a while ago when they were going for that team fight. And for the side of BetBoom, it's not as aggressive as we were seeing last time. The mid wards are about to fade. At the very least, the ramp ward by the river. They still have this ward between tier 1 tier 2, but they're not able to really apply the same map pressure we saw from game 1. Again, it's been a lot slower for them. They just kind of need to get that farm, get that build up, and kind of seed ground to Tidebound while their tempo starts kicking. I just worry about what happens once the connections from Tidebound do come out. Like, Bach is ready to switch lanes. He's going to Blade Mail first. He's got level 2 grew up, so max stack will be enough heroes now.
Atos lockdown save. Nothing to say. He'll have another one up in just a second. Shackles around. Save. Going for a run. Nothing to say. Actually in a lot of danger now. Needs a way out of this macro pyre. Will have a snowball to buy him a bit of time, but he's very deep now. Can he survive? The Requiem connects and nothing to say. He will go down. BetBoom finding a very, very pesky target. Shard's not going to lock anyone down, so BetBoom will be able to walk away with all 5 intact. Oh, it seems like Tidebound, they are still going to try and commit to this mid tier 1 tower. But they're very cautious now. Knowing that the Tinker is down, they are not feeling quite safe. Something but nothing to say as well. Like, even with that defense matrix, you are not going to feel quite invincible as you'd like to with Kataomi now. Getting caught by Shiro might just be set to fall to the Skeletal Archers attacking somebody else in the meantime. They'll just lock him down. They do find Kataomi. Now Miero dropping low as well. Miero! He also dies here, John. In fact, Save's not out of danger yet either. Power shot is gonna miss. Okay. It happens. It happens, John. Don't pretend you haven't done that too.
Oh, I'm not... Huh? Yeah, it happens.
You're always in your high horse, John. You're always on a high horse.
I can't afford a horse, Mike. Why are you acting like I could afford a horse? How would I be on a high horse? What does that mean?
Your ego to be on a high horse? You would have missed the power shot as well.
Yeah, it happens, you know. It doesn't matter even, as Tidebound's 10-6, 3k lead. They're at this point where you kind of have to take care of Bach. At the same time, you kind of have to ignore him, because every single additional stack of nasal glue is starting to really wear through your defensive. You don't have that much armor to speak of here on the side of BetBoom at the moment. And again, this early tempo is in full gear. You've got damage coming out with Shiro. Maelstrom's about to come out now. And the durability is there on Bach. He's got Blade Mail if he does get focused down. Just going for the Shard and SNY. Just looking for full-on frontline durability. You don't have the best backline jump to catch Say out either until maybe a blink up on GPK. He does have his Ags. That's a step forward. Certainly needs to find a way to catch that backline first. It's going to take a little longer until the blink starts to come out. Tidebound still maintaining that aggression, keeping the smokes up. Again, they've got some good wards watching top. Save's not the biggest target in the world. He's going to be an easy one to catch him out here.
Absolutely, Save got no chance here to to survive, I don't think. He'll just have to buy a bit of time, but nothing to say will happily take his life. And, of course, Jonathan, nothing to say, working towards the Aghanim Scepter. He's about 1.8k gold off having the Shrink Ray available with the Bouncing Laser, which is probably going to be ultra annoying to play against him for old BetBoom.
It is not going to be fun to have your HP just shrinking down as well. Like you're playing a Kunkka draft, which is supposed to be durable. It's not going to be that durable once your max HP just gets, shaved away by a laser. And you're shrinking down. Max HP just dropping is a really smart counter to to Kunkka down the line. They're still set for that aggression after taking Twarm and GPK.
Nice gale force. They do force out the Roar. Kataomi is there to help though, so Planet does die, and Y actually dropping pretty low himself, but here comes Bark. Problem is that Macropire, it's actually pretty scary. And Miero, he's gonna come in. They've got the whole side of BetBoom to try and help out here as Planet. He's gonna fly back into the fight. Kataomi has gone down. There goes Save as well. Miero, he needs a way out. He's trying for the TP play for the Rollerblade toss. Planet will make it just in the nick of time to lock him down. The buyback ends up being worth it. And man, I'll tell you what, Tidebound, they are just not stopping. The aggression continues from the Chinese squad, and I mean, you saw it on Planet, he just melts to the Macropire and the Drums of Slom, but ultimately, it just doesn't end up mattering.
The fact that you have to roar off a Wind Ranger already is a pretty rough sign for the side of BetBoom. You also have to appreciate how well Tidebound's playing. Like, why manage to get a big snowball save off in the nick of time to drag Nothing to Say away from the boat combination? Just buys that space for the Tinker to get the Defense Matrix back up, get the March of the Machines going, get the laser spam going. And this fight is coming out without the Ags, Nothing to Say, which he will have in like 25 gold. You're going to have that Shrink Ray up. You're going to have your max HP just constantly called down. It's a 6k lead for Tidebound at 17 minutes. Measurable lead at this point in the game. And for BetBoom, all they can do is farm. He's trying to work his way into Manta Shadowblade. Again, that blink for GPK that we were talking about is starting to rear up. So at the least, you have this way of jumping onto the Tinker somehow and pinning him in the backline, as that backline jump is lacking on the side of BetBoom. You're going to have the Shard from Miero up as well relatively soon, so a Tidal Wave to reposition is going to be nice as well. Whether or not it's all enough remains to be seen, as Shiro's just on the hunt.
Certainly is. Kataomi dropping for now. Shiro dropping low, still has that Aegis. Will lose the first life. Problem is now Nothing to Say is here. This is where trouble really starts, as Bart also finds save, so you don't have that Shadow Demon to try and help you out. Kataomi's going to buy back. They will take down Y. Problem is GPK, he's starting to really melt in terms of the HP department, but he will run his way out of it. So the buyback committed by Kataomi, it does kind of force Tidebound back into to kind of reassess the situation. But ultimately, the buyback, it doesn't necessarily feel that worth. You don't really get anything out of it apart from maybe forcing a retreat.
I mean, you buy sometimes for yourself here on the side of BetBoom, but Tidebound also don't need too much time to kind of sit back and wait. Like, they've got pretty low cooldown spells. They don't really have anything to sit out for. Maybe Focus Fire, but even that from Planet isn't the most impactful anyway. But they can look to actually re-engage relatively soon. Mind you, no secondary life on Shiro does make it a little bit tougher.
Top lane, Miero, is he okay? Blade Mail, I mean, it's causing some issues, but not so much for Nothing to Say. Miero is down. Nothing to Say, easily taking him out with the laser. Meanwhile, apparently Kataomi felt like dying back here, John, because he's been caught out. He's down.
Yeah. Well, you try to help out, just die back. At least it's early days right now, so 50-second respawn. Despite a dieback isn't too bad, but Tidebound, they're showing up. Game 1, we saw some hints of that right in the latter half when Shiro was starting to get online. In Game 2, this time it's Tidebound that's in full control. They'll take a top tier 2 and exchange. And the side of BetBoom, just again, it doesn't feel like they have to play. BKB next for Pure, going away from the Shadowblade idea to sneak around. More forward vision coming out. And Tidebound watching the very sneaky part right behind that tier 2, just to secure that push. 7k lead still maintains. And for the side of BetBoom, I'm not sure what the answers are. Right, like you're playing to your ability, but now you're playing into Tinker Ags. Max HP is going down. It's not like that's damage that Ghost Ship blocks off with a run buff. It is just straight up your max HP dropping low, so you're a softer target, you're easier to play burst on. Pure.
Oh, he's been caught off real bad here, Pure. He's going to pop the Requiem, try to buy himself a bit of time, but I don't see it happening here, John. Pure is just melting. I was going to say, not even bothering to rearm for another laser. He just knows that the guy's dead. My goodness, I mean, you know what, John? I mean, you and I, we had our doubts during the draft for this core Tinker pick, but, well, nothing to say. As usual, Jonathan proves us wrong without saying literally anything.
Yeah. It's still a menace. It reminds me of those TI faults with Yoa. This is kind of the performance we're seeing, except with a little bit more damage, although...
Oopsie daisies, nothing to say.
No.
He's gonna make it out. Torrent's gonna land. He's still alive, but no, he's gone. Oh, I've done it, haven't I, Jonathan? GPK, he's in trouble. But so is Shiro. Shiro, he'll get the death pack off just in the nick of time, and now Miero's the one in danger. Miero's gone. Never mind, it's still a good fight here for Tidebound. A save is gonna be okay. My goodness.
Yeah. Got it. You just all they need to do on the side of BetBoom, Mikey, is for you to talk about nothing to say, and for you to praise him multiple times, you know. And the funny thing is, we were talking about how we've used to curse like 9pandas BetBoom when we cast him.
Oh, BetBoom, with BetBoom, we were by far the worst. We cursed them every time.
It was atrocious last year, or even the year before as well.
The kind of class I'll show my kids one day, John, when they ask why I never praise them. I'll be like, this is why, kids. I don't want to ruin your lives. You're all horrible. You're all garbage kids.
That's gonna be a great quote. I'm gonna memorize this timestamp. 22 minutes recording for the two children to show when they're 5. Or no, maybe more impact. What age do you think is the most impactful for them to hear the dad say, "You're trash"? What's the most mental damage, Coach Mike? Give me some psychological warfare tips.
I'll be frank, there's quite a good chance I'll say it before you show the clip anyway. Don't worry, John. Chances are I'll say it before you do. Karaomi. He's been caught out by a gale. Windy today, Karaomi. He'll die. You gotta do what you gotta do, John. It's for the kids, you know?
Yeah.
You do it for the kids.
For the kids. You know what? I'm guessing that's what some teachers would have said as well. For your own good. For your own good, Mikey. You should quit teaching sometime, Mike. I think that's your career calling is into teaching.
I was studying teaching, Jonathan. Turns out you have to be somewhat intelligent to teach young children, so that was a big no-no for me. Big no-no for me, Jonathan. It's never too late to try again, Mike. You've learned a lot. Have I, John? We've been casting Dota 2 for almost 10 years now. Have I learned anything?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone's learned anything, Mike. You know, in the end, does it matter if you've learned or not? Isn't it all that matters is whether or not you've had fun, Mikey?
Yeah, I mean,
you know what? Tidebound right now, they're having fun. Maybe not so much. They're having fun.
In fact, I don't know if Tidebound are having fun. Maybe Nothing to Say is probably the only guy actually having fun. Let's be honest.
No. I'm sure Bach is enjoying himself. Look, he's Bristleback with Snot Rocket. All he has to do on this hero, run forward, get hit, watch the goo fly out, and laugh like a maniac as they die. I've been seeing these goo stacks, man. 2 stacks of goo on Kataomi is already minus 11 armor. 6 minus 11. It's like, he's so soft. It's insane. Snot Rocket is just vile. People are like, oh, Bristleback is dead with, this cat because he quills are reflected damage. He can't build Bloodstone. It's like, no, you go Snot Rocket where you don't focus on lifesteal anyway, and you just watch everyone die. And it's funny. It's sad and funny.
Oh, this isn't funny.
This might be funny.
Shiro. Requiem is there. GPK with the roar out. That's going to be enough. Say could not save him that time, but the cavalry is incoming. They want to force the fight anyway. X is up from Miero. He's actually the one forcing a fight. Planet barely avoiding the boat. Nice force staff to the low ground, and it seems like Tidebound do not want to mess around anymore. It's a big kill on Shiro, though, like this Clinkx. You are hoping for him to eventually carry the game, but net worth-wise, he is still somewhat behind the other cores in the game. It is really feeling like it's nothing to say in Bark that are carrying this one for Tidebound at the moment. See if they can keep it up. BetBoom, they're certainly not out of this one yet. 25 minutes in, AK deficit for BetBoom, but it is still BetBoom.
And it is. And they've got big timings up. Full BKB for Pure, 9-second duration, fresh off the market. It's going to be very impactful. He's not going to worry about the laser. He's not going to worry about some of these debuffs coming out. The side of Tidebound will take Tormentor for themselves. Somehow, nothing to say, gets the free shard instead of Y, when Planet already has his, so... How is the... okay, that's fine.
Nothing to say he's testing. He's testing it. Yeah. Luckily he's testing it before Roshan, John. Because it'd be a shame if Roshan was happening right now and you needed a BKB. I guess, beggars can't be choosers, John. Roshan's happening at the moment. Shut up, John. Try my best here.
You're cursing the man. You're cursing him so hard.
It's just mid-sentence and I'm like, maybe I should check the Roshan pit to make sure it's not happening.
A little mini-map check even. There it is. Aegis up and Pure with a fresh BKB. They're still 10k behind on BetBoom, but it doesn't feel as hard to play into when you have these tools up. Again, these BKBs are just going to cause some issues. You've got GPK with his as well, down to 8, of course. But it starts to stop some of that output, right? Like the laser's not going to be as annoying. The isolation play you can do is not going to be as annoying, and there is room for BetBoom to actually start to consider a game, especially as it scales up, right? Like, say eventually hitting, say, this Ags shard timing, or at least just the Ags and Blink. Once you have the double charge on Demonic Purge, Demonic Cleanse, the game becomes so much more manageable overall. Their high ground hold with a Kunkka and Beastmaster's pretty alright with the Jahira on top. They've got some good AoE hold. BetBoom will actually smoke with a Aegis up, see if they can get a good catch here.
Planet. He doesn't get the double shackle. It's unfortunate there for Planet. It looks right on angle. Kunkka though, Miero, he's a pretty tanky boy. Hasn't thrown the boat out yet. Requiem committed here by Pure. They'll aim down Y first, and Y is gone. In comes the jump down from Bark, right in the middle of everybody. Trying to go after Miero. They'll take the Kunkka down. A good start for Tidebound, if they can keep going. Keep in mind that Pure, he's still got an Aegis BKB ready. And Bark narrowly avoids dying. They'll leave with a 1-for-1, certainly in favor of Tidebound, considering you got a support for a core. And that's going to be about it. They don't want to feed any more lives away. Problem I'm seeing, though, for Tidebound, John, is BetBoom, they are still defending. At 28 minutes in, you lose a T2 tower, but it really doesn't feel that one-sided.
No. Certainly not. They're finding the angles into these fights again. They're getting a little bit more durable as this game goes on. You've got some aura play coming out, like the Crimson Guard helps massively against the Clinkx. I think the key thing for Tidebound is they're very constrained in that they have to really connect Shiro with Bach.
It's okay. Nothing to say you're going to walk away. Pure trying for the BKB to be out, and Y's not going to make it in time. Save. Will get left behind. So they do have a consolation prize, but that's about all they're going to get out of this. We'll see if they can maybe force this into an objective. And there is a chance you could just try to go high ground and force a buyback from save. See if that's what they want to try and do.
They've got an opportunity. They're going to get a little bit of a shove out down bot. Maybe not the safest play. Requiem's coming off cooldown. Again, BKBs are on cooldown, but it's only a minute. You don't have the biggest window in the world here for Tidebound to capitalize. At the same time, BetBoom with the Aegis is also not getting much, right? Like tier 1 top is still standing. They're not able to just kind of shove that in. We've got the steady siege coming in with Bach. He's got some good right foot damage to kind of the bridge. Fortify already forced out at one time. And that tier 3 is still set to fall. We need to find an angle out here inside of BetBoom. With the Shadow Blade up in queue, perhaps we can bank on this.
Jump in, Roar is out, they've got Y. That's a good start. they do with Bach, but Bach with the BKB happy to just go at war with Miero, but Miero is surviving through it just fine. He's a very tanky Kunkka. Doesn't even bother consuming boat yet either. And that's going to be it. Y going down is more than enough to force them back on the side of Tidebound.
They've managed to shove in decently into this tier 3 mid, right? Down to 300 HP. That's them playing into the Aegis as well. They are getting a lot, actually, against that. Pure will at least sneak out a mid tier 1, which has overstayed its welcome at half an hour in. The Aegis only has 40 seconds left. There's not much of a window for Pure to play. In fact, he has to be a little bit cautious being this far forward here.
He's very far forward. Pure was juke out the Rotobatos very nicely with the Manta, but the game was just dragging him back. Pure! He's gonna lose the Aegis. That's not the start you would have hoped for here as BetBoom for this fight. Pure, he's going to be forced to BKB and try to go for a Requiem. Meanwhile, NTS does get caught by the snowball. White will save NTS, at least for now. This will turn on Miero now, and a perfect shard as well. Blocking Miero on the low ground. Meanwhile, GPK still trying to get MTS, but he TP's out of there just fine. He's not going to die. Meanwhile, GPK still going, still trying. Glaives need to lock down 3 of them. Miero in trouble again. Buck getting to work, and nothing to say is back into the fight. It's all over for BetBoom. This fight is well and truly done. Sure, Pure, he'll survive the end of it. But he lost the Aegis, and it's cost them 3 heroes. And none of them have buyback.
It's a big opening for Tidebound, and that's Tidebound losing their Clinkx straight up, right? Like that's their big source of damage. That's the connection with the Bristleback and Clinkx broken apart, and you still have enough damage to carry through. Your 2 supports are pretty physical based on output. Bach does have some decent right-click himself as well, with a Warpath still there. You still have ways of playing. Now the full side of Vice up on Nothing to Say. Even more control kicking in. That should give him enough ink as well for the max cooldown with touch on everything. So uptime on all of his utility is fully there on the items. And again, this is the point where the game is getting really annoying for the side of BetBoom. Silver Edge is going to be up in Pure. You have the break mechanic to deal with Bach and all of those goos flying around in the middle of these engagements, at least. There is that. Whether or not that's really enough, though, I'm not sure. It doesn't feel like that's really going to be it. And you will buy yourself a few windows to kind of try to burst Bach down. But it feels like in that window, if you're going to focus down Bach, then you're going to allow Shiro to actually dance around this game if you're not careful. And it feels like, yeah, you know what? The bristle, the goo is an issue. But you've been taking those fights without the Clinkx. If you leave this Clinkx alone, and he's the one that survives through, even without the goo, there's enough damage here for Shiro to feel really happy in terms of just melting heroes' faces apart.
Here we go again. They're looking at Pure. They jump in. Hex is out from Nothing to Say. It's going to make life very hard for Pure, but he does still manage to get the BKB off and run, at least for now. Y's the one in danger once again. He is going to be just fine, though. He's actually taking through a lot of damage, but GPK jumps in with a Raw to finish off the job. Problem is, Bach now can just run forward, and Pure is looking pretty damn dead. They'll save him with disruption for now, but eventually Pure will just melt. And my goodness, I mean, it's just looking impossible, this game. Bach just front lines. Nothing to Say just sits there spamming lasers and march the whole time. And here we go again. Save is down. There goes GPK. Miero is in trouble. And you might be around the stage where you just call it. You might just want to call this game over BetBoom. I don't think they were really appreciating the Pos 2 Tinker either.
No. Quite expected coming out, maybe just expecting that support. And again, with no hard catch, they're having to commit war on a Tusk. That's not what you want. That's not why you built that Blink. You want to stop Nothing to Say, even if you take care of why he still managed to get these snowballs, to stall out his death, to stall out the death of his forest. He's getting some big repositional plays. He's allowing the rest of the team to play. A good catch from Patagonia at least, but no follow-up zone live.
And he's just dead. Kataomi down, trying to buy a bit of time for his team to get there and try to defend. Miero is back up, so is Save, but T4 towers are now gone. The Ancient being completely exposed to the bar continuing as now the Hex is out once again onto the Kunkka this time. Miero's HP pool is just getting decimated by this Shrink Brave of Nothing to Say, and he is just down. You know what? He's gonna respawn, but the immediate Hex out. They had the sentry ready. And that's it. Game 2, it will go the way of Team Tidebound. BetBoom ending up having to drop Game 2 to finish off this series.